que vamos a repasar las preguntas de Después de Leer para capítulo 3. We're going to go over the after reading questions for chapter 3. ¿Qué instrumento toca Miguel? So, ¿qué is what? Instrumento, instrument. Miguel, if nothing else, even if you forgot toca, you should be able to guess what instrument does Miguel play. So, Miguel plays blank. Miguel, what's the verb? Look in your question. Toca. If you remember, he plays la guitarra. We learned that in the first chapter, but they referenced it here when they were talking about his classes. Now, notice this next question does not have a question word. That means it is a yes or a no question. Estudia italiano Yolanda? Does Yolanda study Italian? Well, she was going to, but now she's not. So we're going to say no, comma, Yolanda doesn't study Italian. Yolanda, no for the doesn't part. And then we just are going to copy what we have here. Estudia Italiano. ¿A dónde quiere ir Yolanda? Where does Yolanda want to go? So, ¿dónde, where? Quiere ir, want to go. And then Yolanda. Yolanda wants to go. Use your verb phrase from your question. Quiere ir. Whenever you have an ear, you're going to need an whether it's conjugated or not. And remember, she wants to go to Antigua, Guatemala. And if you look on the next question, that was a little hint there anyway. And again, if you go back up here, it's right there. Okay. ¿Por qué? Now, ¿por qué questions are the hardest? Why? ¿Por qué quiere ir a Antigua, Guatemala? Why does she want to go to Antigua, Guatemala? Well, if we go back up to where we found that Antigua, Guatemala, vamos a estudiar arquitectura colonial español. So she wants to study colonial Spanish architecture. So remember, por qué has two words and an accent is a question. Why? Por qué as one word is because. And I know in proper English you're told not to start with because, but for this you're fine to start with because. Por qué quiere, because she wants. Now, we're not going to say wants to go. We're going to say she wants to study, estudiar. And if you need to, just look back up here. If you need to copy it, do it. And bring it back down here. Now, I would suggest you make it match in terms of color so that I know you actually looked at it. Arquitectura colonial español. ¿Cuántos años tiene Yolanda? Now, again, this was in the first one. How many years does Yolanda have, or how old is Yolanda? This is in the first one, but if you notice, her dad makes a comment. Solo tienes 17 años. She's only 17. So, Yolanda, and notice here it has tiene. He used tiene because he was talking to her. We're going to use tiene because we're saying she. Tiene 17. You can either type out the word or you can type the numbers. And then años. Remember to use your international keyboard. And if you use the right-hand alt key in the end, you should be able to get the tilde over the N. And last but not least, ¿qué dice el señor Miranda sobre los planes de Yolanda? What says Mr. Miranda about? Sobre is a good word to learn. If you don't know it, add it to your brain. About los planes, the plans of Yolanda. He says no. He has a firm no. He says she's too young. So I would write El Señor Miranda, Mr. Miranda, dice, says, I just write no. I would write no. At most, you could add no puede, P-U-E-D, if you remember from last year, means can. So she can't, no puede, can't, ir, that she can't go. And you would need a K in front of there. My bad. She says that no puede ir. She can't go. And that's it. If you have questions, please see me. Otherwise, buena suerte. Adios.